Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So basically, now today we are going to discuss about the thread synchronization. We are going to see that what does this term actually means, that what is the definition, what does it actually do, and after that we'll be seeing an example, a program for the thread synchronization which we have under the threading module, right? So let's begin here. Let's not waste out too much of time and let's see that what are these terms actually. Right. So let me start on with the thread synchronization. So basically, thread synchronization is defined as a mechanism which ensures that two or more concurrent threads do not simultaneously execute some particular program segment known as critical section. So this is a definition about the thread synchronization. So basically, it is defined as a mechanism which makes sure that two or more concurrent threads do not execute simultaneously at a particular program segment, okay, and this whole situation is actually called as a critical section. Now let's understand what is a critical section now. So basically, the critical section actually refers to the parts of the program where the shared resources exist, right? Now, the part of a program where your, let's say you have shared a resource, right? At that particular part of a program where you have shared a particular resource and that is exist. So that part is actually called as a critical section of the program. Right, so this is about the synchronization, thread synchronization and the critical section. Now, basically, I hope if you just read out a definition for thread synchronization once again, then you'll be getting the more clear thing that it is basically defined as a mechanism which ensures that two or more concurrent threads, okay, please make sure here to remember these little words that are actually written here, okay, that two or more concurrent threads do not simultaneously execute some particular program segment known as critical section. Okay, so basically it is if I just try to say it like this, that it is defined as a mechanism which makes sure that two or more concurrent threads do not basically simultaneously execute at some particular program segment where the resources is shared, okay, where the resources the shared resources are actually exist. If I do not want to use a critical section here, so in that I can just get out the definition for the critical section and I can just add it there. Right, I hope now you have got a fairly and a clear idea about the thread synchronization. Now basically let's write out a program here now. Before that, moving on to the program, basically we had two things in this thread synchronization. One is a log and another one is the acquire. Acquire and the log, these are the two things which we have in thread synchronization. Okay, right, now let's see that how to use them in the programming. So very first thing, I'm just going to write a program for the thread that will include the threads. So for that, I'm just importing here the threading. Basically, previously we used to write import threads, but in Python 3 that threads do not work. Okay, import threads do not work. So we need to import the threading module here. Okay, right here. Okay, I would just write here, let's say log. Okay, log that I was talking about, the log and acquire, okay, is equal to, and here I would be adding threading dot, and here would be right here, and here would be log and the brackets like this. Okay, so this log is a function which I am having here, and this is one of my variables which I have made. Okay, and basically I'll be using out my functions and the main function for writing out this threading program. Right, so in this basic thread synchronization, I would be using out my threading and I would be using out my main functions. Okay, right here. So I would be defining out my first function def, and let's say my first function is 1. Okay, I would just write it like this. Okay, now let's say I just applied a for loop for I in range, and let's say into the bracket I just wrote here 4. Okay, so for I in range and in the bracket I just wrote here 4. Right, I would just use out that log, the variable which I had made, and here I would just using my acquire function which I was talking about. Right, so log dot acquire. Right, now into my print statement, I'm just using out my print statement here, and inside that print statement, let's say I would just write that log has been acquired. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is the statement which is wanted to print here, that log has been acquired, right? Now, let me just come on to the next line. And after this, I just want to write out the function, one another statement that is basically executing. Okay, I will just write it like this: that one function is being executed. Okay, let me write out this statement that one function is actually being executed, right? And here I'm just using lock dot release. Okay, so acquire and release, these are the two things, not that lock, that was not the one, that was a variable, that was another function. Acquire and release are the two things which are actually here. Okay, acquire means to capture, release me to let that go off, right? These are the two things which come here, right? So I just wrote log dot release. Now basically what I would just do, I would define out my second function here. So let me write def and let me write as 2. Okay, this is defining of my second function. Come on to the next line. Let me first of all calm down so that I can just write properly. Right, I would again apply my for loop. So it is basically for I in, and I'm writing the range, and into the bracket I'll be writing, let's say 4, the same number which I had taken on the above example. Right. So for I in range, into the bracket it is 4. Here again I'll be just using log dot a single dot, and here I'll be log dot acquire. Okay, and the brackets like this, right? Now into the print statement I'll be again writing the same which I have written above. Let me check out that one. So okay, this was log has been acquired, right? Let me write that log has been acquired. Okay, so not like this, it is basically like this, right? No, so basically log has been acquired, right? I would just come on to the next line. And now again applying my print condition, and into that I'll be just writing print, and here would be that what is the name for my second function? 2, right? So I would just write that 2 function is being executed, right? Like this. Okay, come on to the next line now. Let me just code this back here. Right, this is done, and after this I would just write log dot, and here we go out the release, log dot release, and the brackets like this. Right, this is all done regarding the programming. Now basically comes my main function, and inside that main function I'll be calling out my functions and using the start and the join functions. Okay, let's do that thing. So here I'll just write main and hit enter. So I just got my statement, that is if name is equal to main, and yes, in Python programming this is the main function which we have, right? Now basically I'll be making a variable, let's say that is t1. Okay, t1 is equal to, now with the help of the threading module I would be using the threads here. So with the help of the threading module I would use thread, and into the bracket I'll be giving the parameter which is target, and inside that parameter I'll be calling out my first function, that is 1, right? This 1 is the name for my function. Second, I would be again doing the same thing. t2 is the variable is equal to, here I'll be using the threading module again, and with the help of threading module I'm using the thread here, and into the bracket I'll be writing, let's say target is equal to 2, right? So target is my 2, so function 1 is my target above 1 and 2 is the down one, right? Now basically I would just try to start the thread, right? So for starting, what we just do, we just write t1 dot start, and I would just put out the bracket here. Same procedure, t2 dot start, and again I would just put out the brackets here. After that I would just write t1 dot join. This actually means that first for execution of my first of the thread has been finished, then move on to the second one. And here again t2 dot join, and here I just close out the brackets, right? So I just wrote out the whole program. Let me just go through the program once, and let's start out the program. So I just imported out my threading module. After that I had made out a variable, that is log. Okay, into that basically with the help of the threading module I have used out this log function. After that I just made one of my functions, so the name for that particular function is 1. I applied a for loop inside this, so for I in range, so all of these things which are written, that will be executed 0 1 2 3 times. Okay, after that basically I just made out my 2 function, and inside that also I just wrote out sentences, some print statements, and applied some functions, and even applied my for loop. So statements will be running till the 4, right? And then inside my main function I just called out my functions in one another variable with the help of the threading module and the thread function, and after that I simply use the start and the join ones. Right, now I would just run out my program quickly here, run. So basically now I have a look that what I have got here as an output. So I just got log has been acquired, one function is being executed. So basically see, till this particular point I am getting that log function has been acquired, one function is being executed. Okay, this is the whole place where I'm just getting with the first function. And now this time basically 1, 2, 3 and 4. As I mentioned, it will go from 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So these 4 places, that is total my 8 statements, right? In this basically, okay, that is around my 7, right? So according to this, basically here I am just getting the answers that are basically for the two function which we have written here, right? So we had taken the two functions, function 1 and function 2, and according to that only basically we will be getting the answer, right? So okay, just let me show you where it was actually. Yeah, so here was the printer statement, that is log has been acquired, right? And here was the another printer statement, that is one function is being executed. So because of that, here in the above places I'm just getting the same thing. Okay, now after that, inside my 2 1 I have written log has been acquired and two function is being executed. So because of that, in the down place after 8 I'm just getting this particular 2 1, right? So so this is basically how we just do the thread synchronization in the threads with the help of the threads in the Python programming language, right? I hope this must be very clear to you that how we just write out the code for the thread synchronization. So we'll be seeing some more examples in the next videos. So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.